Hello. What's going on, guys? CLR here. This is part 2. Guide to the new school, guide to beatboxing, how to beatbox battle. This is going to be how to prepare for a competition. Now, there's a few things you need to know. If your competition is a year away, you need to practice. If your competition is 2 weeks away, you need to practice. If your competition's tomorrow, you need to practice. If you're on the plane going in the sky, about to land in Sydney for your competition, you need to practice, all right? But practicing and training are different. Practicing is, okay, write a list of all your routines you have, label them, name them, section them off, put them in different sequences. One part goes here, one part goes here, then switch them around, mismatch everything, try to see what works, what doesn't work, what you think sounds good. Also, you need to take into account the timing of everything. Obviously, your rounds are 1 minute 30. So that's another thing you need to be aware of. The best way to do that is, like I said, write a list of all your routines, all your different patterns, all your sequences, all your routines, and hit the timer on a stopwatch on your phone or whatever. Turn around the other way, do your routine, and then by the time you finish your routine, when you turn around, it should say 1 minute 30. If it says 1 minute 30 by the time you go and you turn and it's 1 minute 30, bang, you're on the money. Your routine is ready to go. You're ready for competition. If you turn around and it says 45 seconds and you still got fucking half of the time left, you're in trouble. And that is where you need to make sure you've written down all your beats, you have all your sequences, and then what you can do is go through that list. So, okay, I need another 45 seconds here. What have I not used or what have I not put into a routine? Bang, grab that one, slot it in, and that goes after that. Okay? So it's literally like making a story. The way I sort of do it is all my sort of routines have 3 sequences, roughly. You know what I mean? So I'll have like the first part will be the introduction to the routine. So for example, that's the introduction, and then the second phase of that is the and then that leads to that's the second to third part, and then the finishing part. It's roughly 3. Yeah, not every single routine's 3, but roughly you want an introduction, you want a hook, then you want a sort of like the climax of the beat, and then you want to come back down and you want to build up again and you want to finish with another one. So probably 4, I'd say. You know what I mean? Like, I think 4 is probably the best, but just for rough guidance, do 3. So you want to make sure, like I said, you've got introduction, climax of your beat, and then build up again, and then another climax, because obviously you've got 1 minute 30. Okay, so you don't want to be going for 42 seconds and then go for another 45 seconds, because it's, again, there's no, how would you word it? Like, you don't want everything to be the same, and you don't want everything to be different. It all has to mesh well. It has to flow. It has to, everything has to, you know what I mean? It's all got to make sense. You can't be going you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck? I thought there was a big builder coming now. You switched it to something that's not, you know what I mean? So make sure you, routines, bang. Your sequencing of routines, bang. Timing of your routines, bang. Next, conditioning, okay? If you're on stage, jumping around, if you haven't practiced while jumping around on stage, because when you're on stage, you get adrenaline, you go, the crowd's going off, the judges are going off, you're in your head like, fuck, am I doing shit? Oh, I can't even hear myself on the speakers that are facing me. Oh my God, am I not loud enough? Then you're going to go over exaggerate your beats because you can't hear and you're fucking stressing out. And that's how you fuck up. That's how you go off time. That's how you forget your routines, okay? So what we need to do is condition our bodies, condition your mind to do the routine. So like I said in the first one, pretend you're already in the battle, okay? Don't be practicing your routines just, you know, because you're not going to be doing that on stage, because if you watch the first video, you're going to have stage presence, okay? So we're not going to be doing that. So when you practice your routines, I want you to over-exaggerate your movements. I want you to move around. That way, your cardio can be better. Now, some people say you should go running and all that sort of stuff. That's up to you if you want to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, okay? It's not happening. I'm not doing that. You know, cardio kills the gains. No, I do a bit of cardio, but not a lot, okay? So, yeah. So, instead of running on the treadmill, because when you run on a treadmill, you're going... You're not going to be doing that on stage unless you're really fucking unfit. Then, you know, we've got some issues and we need to be working on that before we get to the beats, all right? So, what you're going to do is, like I said, over-exaggerate your movements and your breath. So, for me, when I'm battling, I'm usually moving around and I'm like, I'm sort of jumping. So I'm battling you, I'm going, you know what I mean? Like I'm in your face, and I'm moving. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're in a boxing match. You just got to do it. Okay? It looks silly, but you got to do it. So when you're practicing, I want you to be jumping around. Get in that cardio going. I just saw how that looked. But yeah, that's what you got to do, because you got to jump, move, and sort of do it with your beat. So have your tempo going and be jumping around. And you're going to notice that you're going to be out of breath. But guess what? When you're out of breath and then you restrict your breathing, because you can't be going... When you're beatboxing, you have to do that via your beats. So you have outward beats. You have inward beats. So you need to breathe with your beats. So if I'm jumping around, obviously I'm going to be out of breath more than if I'm just standing still. So I'm going to have to incorporate more inward beats so that I can, you know, get oxygen so I don't pass out on stage. So what you're going to find is also when you're doing that, like jumping around and stuff, you're going to get out of breath, but you're going to figure out where you're sort of running out of breath. And in that instance, then you can do inward beats. Or if you go off time, instead of panicking and going, fuck, I'm off time, that's when you go... You know what I mean? Then I'm doing that's an inward. So that's a lot of inwards, and then I can relax and go back to it. This video does not make any sense. I didn't plan this. I was like, fuck, I haven't made a video in a while. Let's go do it. So I'm just rambling, but this is how my brain works, yeah, okay. So yeah, structure, routines, timing, tempo, conditioning, making sure you get enough oxygen, making sure you're breathing properly. And another thing to prepare for your battles that I think, I don't know if anyone does, it's something that I always do. Figure out what routines are going against who. If you have a group of, so like 16 people that are in the competition, you need to have a routine for every single person in that competition, or you need a routine for every round in that competition. If you go into that competition being like, oh, you know, if I'm going to become the champion, I need to win 3 to 4 battles. I've only got enough for 2 battles. You're in trouble, okay? Because on the night, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be freaking out. You're going to be going, oh my God, you know, my battle's coming up in 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to do. You want to go into the battle going, like people that have seen me at battles, they come up to me, they go, oh, you ready? And I go, yeah, everything's ready. I've prepared, everything's ready to go. You know what I mean? everything's ready. It's been ready for about 6 months. I've just been refining it. So you really want to make sure that your beats are ready, that you're competition ready, your mindset. You need to be going into it going, I am the best beatboxer on the planet. There's nobody that can touch me. Obviously, don't be like this outside of the competition because it's a bit arrogant. But when you're in competition mode, you need full power mindset. You need full focus. You need to be going into this going, oh, you know what? If a tank rocked up on the beatboxing stage and shot a fucking cannon at me like that, I'd be able to hit it with a and it would go and it would ricochet off and I'd win, okay? That's the mindset you need to be going into this thing with, okay? You will not lose. You do not lose. You cannot lose. If you do lose, next year is always an option, okay? But you need to be going into it going, oh, I'm not going to lose. Full confidence, full focus, full preparation. And yeah, any, I don't know. What else do you guys want to know? I'm ready. I'm back in action. I'm, prepared. Obviously, I couldn't go to the competition last year because Jetstar, cancelled my fucking flight on the day, which was nice. But yeah, so always next year, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments in the comment section below. What else do you want me to expand on? Anything like that? See you guys in another 4 to 6 months. All right.